The grand and Otago skinks are among New Zealand's rarest and most endangered reptiles. They can live 16 years in the wild. These giant skinks evolved, like all endemic New Zealand wildlife, in a bird, reptile, and invertebrate-dominated world, and without terrestrial mammals except for bats. While they evolved skills to avoid weka, falcon, and other native predators, they're at the mercy of pests man has inflicted on New Zealand's delicate ecosystems.
And you're in what originally would have been a mosaic forest shrubland.
The skinks now share their habitat with cats, stoats, ferrets, weasels, hedgehogs, rats, mice, possums, and pigs. And the fruiting shrubs off which they feed are being browsed by hare, rabbit, goats, and others. Continuing loss of habitat, 92% to date, due to land development and this predation, are the suspected key factors driving the skinks towards extinction.
So I'm charged with looking after these two giant skinks, the grand skink and the Otago skink, which are less than 10 years away from extinction.
That's gorgeous, huh?
We are firefighting extinction. We are just hanging on to the tip of the iceberg, and under the water, the ecosystem function on which these species rely is melting away. The integrity of this system is collapsing. This should be a mosaic forest shrubland. It's now a degraded, full of exotic predators and prey, the rabbits, cats, stoats, weasels. And it's not just a problem here. This is a growing problem globally. It's just a magnified issue in New Zealand because you have a very naive ecosystem. This was isolated from mammals and exotic species for millennia. Once these systems collapse, we won't get them back. They will never recover. And that's a dreadful loss to humanity.
Well, if we lose a certain species, for instance, a skink or a gecko, which may seem relatively insignificant, we're not really sure what role they have in the natural environment yet. They could have a very significant role that we simply have not yet assessed. They're all wonderful little products of nature. They're creations that we should do everything to help survive and not write them off because we can't demonstrate some enormous value for them.
We don't get behind conservation ecology and look after functional ecosystems, then we will lose our own habitat. This is our home.
Giant skinks are now only years away from that extinction, so management trials are testing the efficacy of mammal-proof fencing and broad-scale predator trapping for skink management in the wild. However, these trials aren't guaranteed to succeed, so a captive management program is being established as insurance against extinction in the wild. This focuses on breeding a large enough population to enable reintroductions at a later date, but must also maintain genetic health to preserve the skink's ability to adapt and evolve in a response to the changing landscape in which they may live.
There's much more money to be made out of putting sheep through here, burning it, top dressing, oversowing with a bit of fertilizer and running some sheep through. And it'll make somebody wealthy for a generation. But you'll have lost the biodiversity here, which may hold untold value to future generations of humanity. So we really are robbing the future from underneath our own feet. And it's happening quickly here. And I'd say New Zealand is in a place to give a wake-up call to the rest of the planet.